It's Saturday, August 23rd, and ladies and gentlemen, we are back on YouTube. We are
Yep,
back because you know why? College football is back, ladies and gentlemen.
it is.
You're watching this on Saturday morning or the middle of the night, Saturday night, and there's a full slate. Not like great teams. Let's be clear. This is week 0, but it's college football and it's back, and we don't have to bet on badminton or tennis or any of that other
Or
crap.
just
Okay.
nonstop baseball. I'm tired of betting on baseball. As much as I love baseball, every day I get tired
Yeah,
of it.
exactly. So it's the weekend. It's college football. It's the week 0. Um, there's a lot of stuff happening in college football this year.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
got
you got
we're kicking off what over in Ireland,
hmm
at high noon on the East Coast.
yeah,
For those of us on the East Coast, with actually I think that's the best matchup of the day.
yeah.
Iowa State, Kansas State.
Yeah, we picked that for
Kansas
the
State,
show.
yeah,
You
Kansas
know,
State possible, maybe, an outside shot at, getting into the playoffs, maybe making a deep run. You never know. They could be like a Cinderella story. So,
yeah, it's a Cinderella. I mean, it's a Cinderella story, and like, if you get that Caddyshack reference, let us know in the comments. Um, I mean,
but but we could
go ahead.
start this off because I would say more than likely where your champion is going to come from is an SEC, a Big Ten. So,
Yep.
you lived in Texas. What are the? I know you don't care for the Longhorns per se, even though you lived there. What do we think about Texas and their chalk?
Look, they're the top of the SEC rankings, they're the top of the national power polls, the coaches surveys, the AP. I mean, I don't recall a team being number one and as strongly favored as they have with as much turnover as Texas has had, especially across, their O line, their receiving core, and their defense. Um,
Yeah.
I think they're starting 60% of their defensive starters are changeovers. So I mean, like, granted, Arch Manning he looked amazing last year. He's arguably going to be the number one pick in the draft as long as he has a decent year. Um, but I mean, he's not Vince Young. He's not Michael Vick. He's not one of these quarterbacks that can win and have nothing else, right? Like
Sure.
he's a very Brady-esque quarterback in that he he does well when he has really good players around him, and that we just haven't seen that yet from the Longhorns. Now, if they go out and they win, 61-3 their first game, okay, maybe they're legit. But I mean, they've still got to fight through LSU, who's number 2, Georgia's number 3 with Gunnar Stockton returning this year. They got to fight through Alabama's number 4, Florida's number 5. I just, I mean, the Florida's got that kid DJ Lagway that's supposed to be a Heisman contender, and
Yeah.
like Texas got to beat all of those teams. Like, are you going to beat the number 2, 3, 4, and 5 team in the country? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean those rankings are the projected conference rankings for the SEC that you mentioned. So we'll clarify that because obviously Ohio State is there. Texas is playing Ohio State in the very
yeah,
first game, and I believe I read that Texas is the first ever number one team to be a slight underdog in their opening game
here's
because they're
here's what
playing
I
the
don't
number two team
understand.
in nation Ohio State.
Here's what I don't understand. Okay, Michigan beat Alabama twice in 12 months, and Ohio State 3 years in a row. How the hell is Ohio State favored against these Longhorns? Ryan Day, I don't know. I just don't understand it.
Well, Ohio State's stacked; they always are, and it's
Yeah.
it's at Ohio State. I think that's the biggest reason. That's why. If this game was in Texas, I believe Texas would probably be favored by a field goal.
Okay.
So that's the difference is the fact that it's being played in Columbus.
Well, let's kick it over to the Big Ten. I mean, we talked about the SEC. I mean, the Big Ten is no slouch this year.
No, I mean, much like the SEC, the Big Ten landscape is obviously very stacked. Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, now 18 teams, obviously, in the Big Ten. So the Big 18, obviously Penn State's a very serious contender. They've got a lot of veteran leadership, favorable schedule. They actually avoid like teams like Michigan. They host Oregon at home. They don't have to go on the road to Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon's defending conference champion. They need Dante Moore, their QB, to step up, especially with concerns that they have up front. Ohio State, they open up against that, which you just mentioned. Ohio State, and while they have to adapt to a new quarterback, which could be a storyline in and of itself.
hmm Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things in play here that we're gonna know after week two, week three,
Sure.
that are gonna be really telling in this. I mean, we've got the 12 team playoff this year. I really
Second year of it,
liked
yeah.
I really liked the 12 team playoff last year. After my Seminoles got screwed out of the 14 playoff. And like I mean, you're going to see some weird names in there. I mean, like obviously you're going to see, the Texas and Alabamas and all of that. A&M maybe Texas.
Yeah.
After
One
they
thing
missed the playoffs.
one thing I will say about this playoff is if you're going to expand it like this, I I think I heard Joel Klatt say this the other day on his show. If these some of these games, especially these first round games, especially or the second round game, even all of who cares? All of these games should be. Could you imagine how cool it would be for like a semifinal game to be played like at Penn State if Penn State was in it versus in Nashville, Tennessee, or wherever the game ends up
Hmm
getting played. I mean,
Yeah,
these games I can obviously the NFL doesn't play games in neutral sites. You play
yeah,
it at the home field of somebody. The only
yeah,
game not is the Super Bowl. I mean, I feel like that is if you're going to do this playoff, and I know you've got tradition with the Rose Bowl and things like that, but to me, it would be so much cooler if these games were played on these college campuses and in their stadiums.
yeah. I'm a big fan, but the Bulls got to get their money, and
Mm-hmm.
the NCAA is jealous of all that NIL money, so they got to get their money too. Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna see, you can see A&M, Kansas State, maybe like they're 150 to 1 right now, but like you're going to see some teams start to sneak in there. I mean, you're going to have your, Penn State, Clemson, Alabama. You're
Yep.
going to have the sleeper threats like Notre Dame, Oregon, Georgia, and long shots like, my wife's alma mater, Texas Tech,
Yeah.
Miami, and Boise State. Um, but I mean, I think it's going to be. I think they're going to work the kinks out over the next couple of years. I think they'll
Absolutely.
figure that stuff out. Speaking of working out kinks, Bill Belichick is back to coaching football. Um, what do you
Man,
think? What do you is he going to coach for 1 year and is he done? Like what is this Bill Belichick at UNC?
I really wish I knew. To me, it's a guy that man he just it doesn't matter what level it's on. He's clearly made a statement that I still believe I have the ability and I want to coach football. It's that
Yeah,
simple. Um, he's got 71 new players on that North Carolina roster from last year.
yeah,
So, you know, he's in the ACC. The ACC now has three former NFL coaches. Obviously, himself, Bill O'Brien,
yeah.
and Frank Reich.
Yeah.
So
I
there's
mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. I mean, like there's we've got that. You got the talent shifts. You're seeing schools that normally haven't been contenders be start to mention in conversations like Texas Tech, like Illinois. And then not just the mainstays, but you got these talent shifts. But let's talk about the rule changes as well. I mean, we've had. I mean, this is probably the biggest year for rule changes in college football that we've had in a long time.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like they want to get rid of fake injuries. They want to limit timeouts. stuff that's good, but like it's starting to get close to like, are you messing with the game integrity a little bit?
Yeah, well, it's almost to me. It's how are you exactly? I don't know how you combat, how do you prove somebody's faking an injury?
Yeah.
You know,
What, do you got an
that,
MRI on the field?
right?
Like,
It's kind of that's kind of interesting. But I mean, obviously, you have to promote safety and all these kinds of things. And yeah, I just really hope that they don't completely take away the ability to defend.
yeah.
Where you touch a guy at all and you're a defender, that you're getting penalized. So,
I mean,
and at
we
that
saw it
point, you might
last
as
year
well
in
just
the
play flag
Texas.
football.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last year in the Texas Georgia game, right? There was that, really on the edge targeting call, that led to
Hmm.
a touchdown being overturned and like, like causing an impact to the game. So like I want these guys to play football. Like guys, they're getting millions of dollars. Like let them play football.
Yeah, right.
And can we taunt, please? Can we please taunt? I'm not a fan of this whole be nice and flowery to each other kind of thing. But anyways, so a lot of changes. We both have our teams. Obviously, you are a Michigan fan. I'm a Florida State alum and fan. What what do you think is going to be critical for Michigan this year?
Yeah, real quickly, I will say my family's from Michigan, so diehard Michigan fans all my life. I went to University of Central Florida. Obviously, we have Scott Frost coming back, so that's kind of cool. We'll
Yeah,
see how he does. I don't expect a whole lot from them first year or anything like that. I think if they get bowl eligible, also starting with UCF, they get bowl eligible. I think that's a win
yeah,
for them. So, but yes, talking about Michigan, I think it all kind of starts with the 5-star recruit that they're paying a few $1 million to. That would be Bryce Underwood. I think his development, his evolution into a confident, QB1 is going to be very crucial for their success. And I think it's all going to kind of start there. They do have some young guys, very young on the offensive side of the ball, so they're really going to have to lean on their defense. Even though they are losing, they lost a couple of their best defenders. They have reloaded on that side of the ball, so I don't expect a whole lot of downturn on the defensive side of the ball, and it's going to
yeah,
be all about that. Can Bryce Underwood, as a true freshman, come in and make a difference and find rhythm with his guys?
yeah. I mean, we've seen it before. I mean, remember Johnny Manziel 13 years ago with Texas A&M? He figured out how to do it. So true freshmen can do it. I mean, that's definitely, you guys got to beat Michigan State. You got to beat Ohio State. You got to stay in the conversation, you
Yep.
know. Um, but I mean, yeah, I mean, that's, it's, you guys are kind of viewed mid-tier in the Big Ten. I don't think that's really fair. I think you are a better than
Yeah,
mid-tier team.
it's simply because of kind of the things that we mentioned. They were 8-5 last year, obviously extreme rebuilding year, but obviously
Yeah.
very good towards the end, beating Ohio State and then beating Alabama,
No.
even with almost no quarterback play at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I think where they're being projected is about fair, but I certainly think the ceiling is way up there at possibly 10-2, 11-1, maybe if they really got into a rhythm early. So
Yeah. So let's make a prediction before we move on to my team. What is your prediction for the year for Michigan? Record
uh,
and results.
I think 10-2, and they just miss out on the playoffs.
Okay. All
So
right. Very honest, right?
yeah,
Okay, so speaking about honesty, let's get honest here for a second about Florida State.
what do you
Okay.
got for Florida State?
Oh man, we're coming into 2025 after arguably the one of the worst years in the history of Florida State football. Going 2-10. Obviously, Jordan Travis broke his leg in 23. We missed the playoff, and then 60% of the team left. And then we went 2-10 the next year,
Yeah,
including losing in Ireland in this week 0 game, and just setting the tone for the rest of the year.
yeah,
We've got the new quarterback, Tommy Castellanos, who, came in, won a game last year. one of the two wins we had. And he's won in Doak Campbell before, and he might have screwed up because he made some spicy comments about Alabama, saying that nothing Alabama throws at them is going to be as hard as practice is. And my argument to Tommy Castellanos is, sir, you've never played a good Alabama team. Um, they are going to reenact the prison buddy scene. Okay, it's not going to be pretty in Tallahassee. Like it's very Stephen Ames, Tiger Woods-ish for the golf fans out there that know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, you got to give the kid credit for having blind ambition towards FSU being great, but it's going to leave everybody wondering, like, is FSU actually good, or are they delusional? Hint, I
yeah. I
think
mean,
they're
yeah.
delusional.
I mean, I think you have nowhere else to go but up, right? I mean, I
Yeah,
don't foresee a way that Florida State goes 1-11 or 0-12 or anything like that.
yeah,
They've brought in Gus Malzahn as their new offensive coordinator. So
yeah.
if he can gel with some of your new talent and so forth, you know, you
Mike
you
Norvell
re,
needs to go. We need to
you
stay on that
revamp and
train.
you see what you got. So I mean, your line is actually set at 7.5 on the win total line. So what do you think about that? An over or under?
I I I think we're going to go 6-6 this year. I'll be happy if we go six
Yeah.
and six. I'll be happy, and I think that's what we're going to go. I mean, the advantage here is that we get to play at home against Miami, Virginia Tech, Alabama, and Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
That's the saving grace. Um, and the last time Alabama came to Doak Campbell was in 2007, and we beat them.
Yeah.
But that win has also since been vacated. So you know, I I'm just looking for something better than last year. That's what I'm looking for. And I don't like that my quarterback is saying that practice is harder than playing
Mm.
Alabama.
Yeah. No. I don't agree with
I
that.
don't like that. So either way, guys, college football is back. We are super excited.
Yes, we are.
And we are ready for it next weekend. Dude, Saturday, I'm gonna be on my couch all day next Saturday. I'm not doing a damn thing. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. And we'll see what
So
happens.
then,
We're gonna
real quick, who do you got winning it all at the end of the year?
as much as it pains me to say it, Texas.
Yeah,
I
you'll.
think I think Arch Manning is better than any of us think he is, and that's saying something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like to me. I mean, well, who do you pick? It's like it's the same suspects just about every year. It's like, are you going to pick Texas? Are you going to pick Ohio State? Are you going to pick Georgia?
Yeah.
Um, you know, I mean, here's what I would really like. I would really like in Oregon or somebody like that to finally break through and get it done. It's who I would like. Now, who do I think? Probably Texas, like you just said. As much as I mean, I don't have anything against Texas, but it's I don't know.
I'm
If
about to
nothing
say
else,
this:
at least maybe Texas can do it, so everybody can quit saying Texas is back every year, and then they end up not actually being back.
Yeah, good God. Then can we get the Cowboys to win a Super Bowl so we can stop hearing from
No, please
Cowboys
not.
fans?
Please no.
Uh, oh, that's another conversation for when NFL starts. All right, guys. College football is back. We wanted to put together a preview show for you. Thank you for sticking around. We will make sure you're following us on Instagram and catching the free daily picks. We're on a 14-3-1 run right now.
Oh,
So make sure you're following those. And we'll be back more often with the YouTube now that the doldrums of summer are over. But make sure to hit
yes.
that like and subscribe button and stick around for another video with no strings, just winners with the Wager Bros.
See ya.